Alright, so a little update here. I haven't updated my YouTube channel for a while on the charger build. Um, so I finally was able to get the cut and polish done. What was holding me back was not knowing what I was doing and cutting through and then having to redo. So, with that said, what happened, I think further back in the video you can see that this fender here had some imperfections where I had tried to sand too deep to get like dirt nibs out and stuff. So I had to repaint the fender and then it didn't match. So after that I was like, only way to fix the problem was going to have to be to redo the whole car. So I did that, sanded it all down, 600, reshot the color, re-cleared it. After that, everything was going good. I was sanding, I was polishing, I got down both sides of the car, I got the trunk lid done and everything, hood was done, and then I got going on the roof, and I had a cut through right here, right out in the open. So at that point I bagged up the whole front of the car. I still had some of the color left, thankfully, and so I resanded the whole back part, not the trunk but just the quarters and the roof and the rockers, of course, and I repainted it again. So the car got totally repainted twice and halfway repainted once. So anyways, like I said, I'm not a professional painter, and it was a big learning experience for me. So finally got all the cut and buff done. It's not perfect, needs a little bit of polishing still left yet to do, but overall it's pretty nice. I did start getting parts out of the trunk and emptying boxes, which is yay, finally. Mirror installed, door handle installed, window glass installed. Cleaned up all the hardware inside, re-greased everything. I was gonna start putting these in. These still need to be cleaned up, but these wheels on the rear windows are wore out, and I can remember, so that would have to be cleaned up too once you get it apart. But I can remember when I'd roll this window up that I would have to wiggle it to get it set where it needed to be. So I'm hoping to remedy that. Other glass is in, and let's see, mirror, door handle. Started putting the door lock in, but the gasket is cracked, so I'm going to replace that before I go any further with that. And then the hood, I got the template in, and the template was going to put this line up closer to here, and then this would have had a pinstripe around it inside here, and that was all fine and dandy and everything, but I just wanted to be different. I didn't want it to be the same as all the other cars, so I modified it where this is wider here with no pinstripe on this. So this stripe is a lot wider than it would be from the factory. From the factory it'd be a little bit skinny line through there. And then to top that off, I stretched this back further, probably about 4 inches, 5 inches or so in this area. I stretched it back. So this stripe is actually longer than it was from the factory. And secondly, instead of curving it around through here, I went ahead and covered the vents. And like I said, I just wanted to do something different than what every other car in the world has, because this is not a contour correct restoration. I mean, it's my car, and it is a little bit custom. Like the whole bottom of the car is painted the same color as this, so it is a little bit custom. It is a factory 440 car. Did come with hood pins, putting them back on. Wheel well trim, putting that back on. Rocker molding, going to be putting that back on. And then the gutter molding. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, it had the rally stripe that went down the side. I just got it all kind of laid out here, trying to flatten it out a little bit. But I'm going to double check where this door here I think needs to come up a little bit. And I want to make sure my doors are exactly, because after putting the window in, it did sag it a little bit. Not much, but it needs to come up a little bit. And then I think this door here is pretty spot on. It didn't really sag it. Well, I had it above when I adjusted it, so it's pretty spot on. I'm not going to do anything else with that. So, needless to say, stripes that go on the side, flatten them out. I want to wait for a warm day to get started on that. Got my hood pins in, my 440 Magnum badges, and then also messing with rubbers. I have quite a few extra laying around, so I'm picking the best out of the bunch and then cleaning them up. Or these haven't been cleaned yet, but this has been cleaned up. Cleaning them up and installing them. And then of course I got a rubber buggy bumper kit for all the rest of the stuff. I believe them go to the trunk, but already installed those. And then I got that one and the front one installed, and then I got the foam on. See, like I said, that door is pretty close. It's just a little bit off, so I'm going to loosen that bottom hinge and raise the door here. Yeah, so there's the foam for the other door. So I just thought I'd show where I was at. This is for my YouTube channel on the charger, but I'll go ahead and add this in where I've got the paint straightened up, and I've got it polished on the sides, trunk lid, and the hood. I got them all polished. I'm lacking the taillight panel. Got to get it sanded and polished, which ain't gonna be too bad. It's got a little bit of texture to it and a couple nibs here and there, but gotta get that polished. And then the roof, it's sanded up to about here on both sides, so I have to still sand the center and polish that. And I'm trying out some other um, polishing pads, where this was recommended from Big Kid Blocks. Recommended those for the polishing part. And then, let's see, someone had recommended these for cutting. They're the microfiber cutting pad. So I'm going to give them a shot. And then there was one other cutting pad. Where? Oh, right here. One other cutting pad that everybody was recommending. Pull it off here. For the Euro fiber black and white cutting. So I'm trying it too, and it cuts pretty fast. And then Angel Wax, the Resurrection Extreme. I'm using it to do the cut and the polish, and it seems to be working pretty good. I actually used, what was it? Oh yeah, 3M rubbing compound A in polishing on the B. I used that on that car, but with this being a dark color, don't want to have the sanding scratches or swirls in it, so I'm using that Resurrection stuff, and it seems to be doing the job. Anyways, just wanted to update the YouTube channel and show you guys where I'm at with it. The paint, body work, the metal work took me exactly about what I thought it would be. I was going to be ready for paint in a year, and well, ready to do body work in a year, and it didn't work out. I started 1 year, then I got started on the body work, and it took a couple months, 2 or 3 months to do the body work. The metal work took a year, the body work took about 3 months, and then the paint started kicking my butt, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, because you paint a car and then you cut through somewhere and then have to repaint. And well, so what happened, I'll go ahead and repeat it. The first time I painted it, I had the door open a little bit back here, and I didn't realize I had the fan in this door, and that door was opened a little bit, and when I painted it, it was just plumb full of dirt, little black specks everywhere that I didn't see. So after it had dried, I started sanding it, and I started on this fender, and this fender here had some black specks in it, and I was really digging deep trying to get them out, and didn't realize it until after it was all polished. And then after it was all polished and everything, I walked through with the light, in the light here, and you could see like a little dent here, a little dent here, and a little dent up here on the top. It wasn't dents, it was just where I had dug too deep into the clear. So at that point, I attempted to just repaint this one fender, and I don't know if my pressure was off or what was going on, but the color didn't match the door. I mean, it was way off. It was darker. So at that point, I was out of color, and I was like, man, only way to fix this is going to be to sand the whole car down, reshoot color and reshoot the clear. So I talked to the paint rep, and they asked me, "Did you open your door?" I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, that's what your problem was. That's where you got all your dirt from." So the second time, what I did is I took my fan and I put it in this window over here, and then I took my radiator shroud and put over the top of it, and then sealed around the edge of it where it was drawing air through there. And then I just barely cracked this window over here and put a furnace filter on it, and it made a huge difference. At the same time, I bagged the whole roof here, put plastic over the top to keep any dirt from coming down out of the rafters, and it made a big difference. And I was going along good, and everything was looking great, and I polished both sides, and then that's when I had the cut through up there, right about there. And luckily, like I said, I had enough of the paint left over. I was able to reshoot that quarters roof and rocker panels, and then start all over on the sanding and polishing. So that's what took me so long. But at the same time I was doing that, I sanded the whole backside and the roof and the doors and everything on this car, because it had damage here on the corner, and it had damage here on this corner, and it had damage in the center of the deck lid, and then along the edges of the deck lid. So that required me to tape off the stripe, and that was kind of a pain in the butt. But I got it all taped off. I'm going to end up redoing the stripe, because once I get it redone, I'm going to polish it where it's shiny like the car, so it'll be almost like ghosted in, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm going to make it where the stripe is shiny. I'm going to clear coat my hood scoop, and I'm going to clear coat my wing. So I'm going to clear coat that. I'm going to clear coat the wing, of course, after I prep them. And then I will be done with this one. It'll be shiny, shiny stripe, shiny back there. Where this one's going to be satin, and I got the stripe for the tail panel too. Here it is. And that will put the satin across here, a satin stripe. And then I got to get some argent to repaint the tail lights, and I got new lenses for it, but I'm wanting to do the sequential and put the sequential digital lights in them. And then I got the exhaust still to do, a little bit of exhaust work to do. But I got, you already know, the engine's in. It starts and runs. I got all the air conditioning stuff ordered, where I got a brand new evaporator. I got another kit to do the heater box, so I can rebuild the heater and air conditioning box. And then a brand new condenser. I'm going to paint that black. Got the compressor mounted where I want it. Ended up changing that bracket to a different one that actually moved it over a little bit, and now it's not. It was kind of tilted one way or another, where the line used to come out this side on a C body. So I actually got the B body brackets in now, and the correct hoses, so I will be able to have the air conditioning working. And that's where I'm at. Installed the hood pins. I'm going to wait for a while before I get too far with it to do the decals, you know, for like the door. Got the decal that goes in there, and then the rest of them. Okay, I'm just rambling here, but just wanted to make a video to let everybody know where I was at with the car, because I'm sure people were wondering, did he fall off the face of the earth, and he will never get that car done, blah 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 blah. Is it going to be one of those restorations that never gets done? I don't think so. So, alright, good talking to you. Hit that like button, and I'll get some more videos coming out as soon as they're available, as soon as I get some more of this thing put together and start getting the interior back in, the carpeting and all that good stuff. Still need to take the wheels off and take them to the blaster and have them sandblasted, because I'm going to paint these wheels same color as the car, and use my red line center cap and my beauty rings on them. So, get back with you. Night night.